You're listening to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. During the next hour, the Archdiocese of Chicago brings you programs about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Welcome to Catholic Chicago.
Good morning, and welcome to Mission Matters Live, a program focused on promoting a spirit of mission among the people of God in the Archdiocese of Chicago. My name is Megan Mio. I'm coordinator of the Mission Office, and our engineers this morning are Mike and Brian. You are listening to WNDZ 750 AM, and we hope you'll join us every third Thursday of the month, typically from 8:30 to 9 a.m. This month, we are blessed to have with us Father Jason Torba, pastor of St. Ferdinand Parish in the Belmont-Cragen neighborhood of Chicago. And we have lay leader and missionary, Mrs. Marta Robak, a longtime parishioner of St. Ferdinand as well. And I've asked them here to share with us the wonderful work that they have continued to organize and participate in with multiple parish communities beyond St. Ferdinand, to support the good work of the Missionaries of the Poor, even in this year of pandemic in particular. So welcome, Father Jason and Marta.
Welcome, Megan. Thank you so much for having us. Good morning.
Good morning. Now, we have both of our guests on by phone, which is always tricky when two people are on. You can't see each other. We don't know when we're going to talk over each other. So I'll do my best to introduce, ask each of you to respond to individual questions. But I just want to make note at the top of the show, we're recording this show a little early, and it is Father Jason's birthday today. So we want to wish him a happy birthday. And even as you hear it live later, you can wish him a belated birthday. So welcome. So the Missionaries of the Poor is a religious community of men, brothers, who seek to build a sense of community among the poor. They currently minister in many countries around the world, but I know that the folks here based in the Archdiocese of Chicago, the MOP Team, Missionaries of the Poor, MOP, have most recently supported the work of the brothers in Kenya, Jamaica, Haiti, and Uganda. Now, our parishes have supported the mission work of the brothers for some years. It's been going on for a while. But in Advent and Christmas in 2020 and Lent and Easter in 2021, where we're in the season we're in now, the members have engaged in global mission. The members of St. Ferdinand Parish, Holy Family in Inverness, and St. Constance Parish in the Jefferson Park neighborhood have engaged in this global mission with the Missionaries of the Poor in some new and creative ways, thanks to this MOP team. So obviously the pandemic has interrupted and complicated things, but these parishes, these communities have continued to support the MOP folks. So by having Father Jason and Marta on our show today, I would like to just share some of these hopeful stories of mission during pandemic with all of you. So we'll start with Father Jason. Just let's learn a little bit about the background of this story, how St. Ferdinand and then these other parishes as well got involved. So tell us about this ongoing commitment to support the Missionaries of the Poor. How did it all begin and develop into this annual tradition?
Yeah, that's the beginning is over 10 years ago.
10 years.
That's,
14.
Marta says 14 years.
Yeah, but over 10, it's still.
Yes.
If you have celebrate birthday over, that's.
Sure.
But if you are growing over 10, that you are still counting. Yes, that's true. And two beginnings, because for me, the first beginning was when I was ordained in Poland, and after my ordination, and this 3 years, sent by organization to the different places in the world, because I was sent, appointed by my bishop after ordination, work for Catholic, but beyond Poland, and they, this organization, different places in the world, how they help people, and that they implant in my soul, and that's the first beginning. But here at Ferdinand was another beginning when I became pastor after 1 year. That was the one. The Missionaries of the Poor to us, and only 5 people. We went to Jamaica, and again, the seed was planted and started growing.
Okay.
And I can, even I'm living parish, I here at places as well. And, the first was the small things we do, but later on we start organizing more and more, have a wonderful people, and that we are growing as not only as people helping, but more organized. And Marta is wonderful person that helped to organize.
Right.
To join. And because that without people you cannot do anything. A pastor can have wonderful ideas, but without people, what you can do? Just you can pray, but behind the prayer you cannot do a lot. And with great hearts and soul and faith, I think that's the faith that brings us together, and hope. And
well, yeah, I also think there's an element of mission that really engages people. It draws people in. So, like you said, there were only a few people on that first trip. They probably told others about that experience, and really other people wanted to be involved. Really, wanted to hear more. I want to be part of it.
That the faith is going beyond the church building, and that's always my idea to, that faith is not only when the people come.
Right. It's the liturgy and prayer is very important, but it is also practicing our faith in the world and really going far beyond the church building itself. Very true. Now, Marta, I wanted to kind of ask your piece of it. Obviously, you're familiar with the many years as well of this relationship, and Father Jason mentioned that you were instrumental. So can you tell us a little bit how this work has grown beyond St. Ferdinand Parish, and what are you most proud of accomplishing over the years?
So again, I mean, God works in mysterious ways, and we are so happy that, of course, St. Ferdinand is our home and our base, and we meet there, we plan there. We our major projects are happening at St. Ferdinand, that's for sure. But other parishes are joining us. Other religious programs are joining us, or reaching out. Hey, how can we help? What else can we do to be part of it? To support people in Haiti, or students at Divine Mercy Academy, or children from orphanage centers. So many local parishes are supporting. And again, our volunteers, most of us belong to St. Ferdinand Parish, but there are volunteers who belong to Jesuit Polish Mission, St. Constance, and many other parishes. Mm-hmm. And that's how I guess the word spreads, and people are, oh my gosh, extremely. They want to help, they want to be part of it, and they feel proud of it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah, so how did those introductions happen? How did you branch out to these other communities? Was there somebody who kind of went was part of St. Ferdinand and then went on to these other communities?
So when the MOP started, when we went to our first mission trip, like Father Jason mentioned, there was only 5 of us. And, we wanted to help more. We wanted to reach out to as many people. And MOP is very well known from their music ministry. So Father Brian, and Father Richard Holong, the founder, they came with several times with a beautiful concerts. Yes. So the promotions, and we have been inviting people from different parishes. And that's how people also found out. And besides, after that, I should say, we have different talks, we have different presentations, and people are moved. People are moved, and
yeah, it just spread. It just grew.
It spread. Yes. Yeah.
And what would you say you're most proud of accomplishing over this time?
Oh, there's so many things that have happened, but for me personally, I'm so blessed to meet an amazing people, and that 14 years, it has been extreme. I mean, such a blessed journey. So people, this is the key. Yes, it's hard to pick, but 7 years ago when we went, and Father Jason joined us, on mission trips, when we went to Kenya, there was nothing. There was really a simple structure that brothers lived, very small, kitchen and 2 rooms. And that was the whole mission. And then also they have like a very basic a structure for like a wooden shed. And there was a school and orphanage center. Yeah. And that mission trip was very special and touched us so deeply that we've decided to do more and share with our parishioners. So we have a beautiful school, an amazing building. We have beautiful orphanage center. Then a recent accomplishment is the clinic, St. John Paul II clinic that has been blessed on December 8th last year and opened in January. And that clinic has been a wonderful blessing for the Choka community in Nairobi, when every Saturday, and I believe so Tuesday, 50 patients come. And we have a doctor and we have a nurse, and it's totally free of charge, so local people from the slums can come and get a medical attention.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's something to be very proud of. From everything I've heard, it sounds like St. Ferdinand and the communities here in Chicago were instrumental in the development of this Kenya mission for the Missionaries of the Poor. And so, and we'll hear more about it as the show goes on, but that is a humongous accomplishment, very life-changing impact. Now, I think Father Jason is back. We were having a little trouble with your phone. Are you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, you see, devil is on duty, but we are in Easter season, that we know that we Jesus conquer, and that we are working for that as well, to encourage people to be part. As I mentioned earlier, and Marta told us about accomplishment, but without these people here and their resources, and that they are very generous and very supportive. And not only at St. Ferdinand, we have more parishes. There's Friends of Missionaries of the Poor are from different parishes, and that help us, to build this great group, to be the kind of bridge, because there's the friends here, they are great bridge between parishioners here in Archdiocese of Chicago and the brothers in the special Kenya, but this year we'll have other places as well we support because of the pandemic, and we cannot send the container like we did usual the fall time to Jamaica, and that's why we have the virtual container. They have a lot of great ideas, and and people right away, got it and support and be part. And we were a little worried about it because we had this project in the fall time and Advent time before Christmas, And Marta thought, well, Father, maybe we can postpone because it's not easy for the people as well here.
Yeah.
But we started Lent a project as well and going well.
Well, you
Wonderful.
know what? Before you get into too much detail about that, because we are definitely going to talk about that, but we actually are going to take our first break, and we will talk more about those very things that you just introduced, Father Jason, when we come back. So stay tuned for more discussion of mission during the pandemic.
Mothers are often the unsung heroes in a family. Right now, many mothers are also the disproportionate victims of the COVID-19 pandemic. They've experienced higher rates of infection and more job losses. They've had to navigate their children learning remotely while caring for older relatives and struggling to put food on the table. What better way to honor the mothers in our lives, those living and deceased, than with a contribution in your mother's name to Catholic Charities' 2021 Mother's Day Appeal? Our mothers were the first to teach us about compassion and community. They were the first to show us what love and caring for someone else is all about. Help us help local moms and children who are struggling this year. Please give generously at CatholicCharities.net.
Hey, it's Timothy Johnston here from Liturgy Training Publications. Over the past few months, I'm sure you've found yourself at home more, whether it's working from home or watching live stream masses on Sunday mornings. As we began adjusting to this at the beginning of the pandemic, one of the things I missed the most was gathering with friends at the parish. That's why we at LTP have created this new virtual gathering series called Living the Sunday Word. We meet virtually on Thursday evenings each week and reflect on the upcoming Sunday readings. And with that, we share stories to help us more fully reflect on the Word of God. I'm inviting each of you to join us, a group of friends meeting virtually from all parts of the country. So visit ltp.org for more information and to register. You won't want to miss this.
Caring adults make all the difference in the lives of adolescents. Catholic Charities understands this, and our mentorship program provides a free opportunity for youth living in Lake County to spend time, virtually, with volunteers who genuinely care about them. This program is ideal for youths age 9 to 12 who may need support navigating the challenges of childhood and early adolescence. Our amazing volunteers serve as friends and role models who help youth recognize their strengths and empower them to reach their full potential. Catholic Charities conducts a thorough background check on every volunteer, and our program coordinator closely monitors and supports each relationship. Mentoring is a fun after-school program that is totally different from remote learning. Virtual group sessions help youth enjoy fun activities with their peers, too. We're connecting youth with great role models. Join us today. To learn more, call 312-937-3375. That's 312-937-3375.
Welcome back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, coordinator for the Mission Office, and we're here with Father Jason Torba, pastor of St. Ferdinand Parish in Chicago, and Marta Robak, parishioner and lay leader. And we're talking about the parishes and the Archdiocese of Chicago who've been supporting the work of the Missionaries of the Poor this past year and for many years prior. In the first segment of our show, we were just kind of getting an understanding of how all this came to be, and it, started slow, but it grew. This commitment, and it's become annual. It's become an expectation by these communities to support this global mission work of the Missionaries of the Poor. But now we got to talk about 2020. Okay, Marta, in March 2020, when the whole world slowed down due to this pandemic, what were your first thoughts? The MOP team, the core team that's been coordinating all this, what were you thinking about this global mission commitment with Missionaries of the Poor? How could you move forward, and what did you all do, or what did you all think?
I mean, I personally was terrified. There was this terrified and in a way angry. I don't know. I can't even describe that feeling. Being on the go constantly and being so involved and traveling to mission, twice, sometimes even 3 times within the year. You just have to stop. And I'm like, God, why? What is happening? Why are you doing this to me? I knew I wouldn't be able to travel. I mean, in the beginning, nobody knew what was going to happen. And it was just, of course, right away, you see the faces of the brothers, you see the faces of the kids, children, and it's just, how are we going to do it? Especially my biggest concern was about the container, that we have several parishes from Archdiocese of Chicago are participating in that project every single year. And because of that, we are able to ship 2 or sometimes 3 containers to the missions in Jamaica and Haiti. And I knew right away this is not going to be possible this year. And being in the group, we have a wonderful group and like a group message, that we've been talking with each other, sending messages to each other daily, and praying for each other, praying together. That, I guess, also helped me a lot, to survive that. And we started to plan. And Father Jason is always like a key person. And he says yes, and he's ready and always open to our ideas, and he supports them. So that helps tremendously when you have a leader like that.
Open for hope, but with one condition. If somebody wants to do something, he has to be responsible. We will support, but we need the person who will be responsible.
Right. Well, that's very smart. You're like, let me just add this little. No, but I was just going to say, well, that sounds like a bunch of missionaries, that you're faced with a problem, you're faced with a challenge.
Yes.
And especially as it's a humanitarian challenge. So that this pandemic only means that this mission work is all the more important for these communities that are disconnected and impoverished and struggling with health, among other things, healthcare. That you didn't say, well, guess we can't do it, just brush off your hands and walk away. You said, okay, let's figure this out. I'm sure that your team needed a minute.
We
needed to pray. You needed to stop and talk and just support one another initially, because everybody's affected by this.
It really helped me personally after the few days and minutes of shock. Have some other members who are, okay, it's going to be fine. It's going to happen. We're going to, first of all, we have to trust. It's not about us, We have to trust God that He will take care of that. He will guide us in the right direction. And that's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Right, and we'll talk more about exactly what happened in a little bit. But before we get to that, Father Jason, I'd just like to know what, I'm sure that you and the team were in touch with the Missionaries of the Poor Brothers in all these places, in Haiti, Jamaica, Uganda, Kenya. What were they saying about how the pandemic was affecting their work? How were they reacting to the pandemic? Or how have
first of all, they said that people are coming for help. That we know that we have to do something to help them because they're organized here. And as Marta mentioned, that we start with prayer. That YouTube and the new technology help you to be some way connected, and that was a wonderful way to be together, even virtually, and that help keep the spirit. And then we start, spreading that we want to continue help because the people need our help, and encourage our people that in this difficult time not only think about yourself, that go beyond that. That will help. I think a lot of people share this year, after the months and over year, that was one of the way to help them, to accept what we experiencing here, because sometimes we experience something difficult, or that we right away think about just about ourselves and want to protect ourselves, but go think about others, and that's the one of the way to help the people, keep them healthy. Not only healthy body, but healthy spirit. That's very important, and support. And also, brothers, thanks us. That's what we heard from them. That in this difficult time, they want to tell people here that support is tremendous and helpful and very important. And for them, when the world is kind of some way disconnected and we are closed, and that's, but we go, we support in other way than before, but we did.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think it's very key, just from my own experience of talking with other missionaries over the years now, is that this relationship was really important. It was one thing to say, well, they need buildings, or they need medical supplies, or they need, school supplies. Yes, of course they do, and that was something that was on the list. But the first thing that your parish and the other communities that have supported the Missionaries of the Poor was try to connect and say, we're praying, let's pray together, let's talk about what you're experiencing, what we're experiencing. That relationship was really primary. And you just said, that the spirit, that yes, our bodily health is important, but our spiritual health, our emotional health is really important. This pandemic has definitely affected people's sense of hope and connection with other human beings, because it's so hard to connect. And I think global mission is a big piece of that, is helping people to see beyond my personal immediate needs and to think something broader. Absolutely. Marta, if you could offer some more thoughts too about what were the brothers saying about what was happening.
I mean, definitely, Megan, situation have changed dramatically. Let's say, Jamaica Mission, they have, oh my goodness, numbers of volunteers coming, and serving with them and helping brothers, and on a daily basis. And suddenly everything has stopped. Until now, Jamaica Mission doesn't accept volunteers. And the situation with COVID is really getting tough in Jamaica at this moment. So we don't even know when they're going to open their houses to welcome visitors again. The same with Haiti Mission. In Jamaica, there was a major outbreak of coronavirus at the centers. Over 70 residents and few brothers got COVID. Luckily, nobody died. Everybody is well and good at this time. In Kenya, the schools have been closed, everything have been shut down, and all the outreach that the brothers, they have orphanage center with 70 boys on their, and then school, but the school has been closed, and it was hard. It was hard for the local people who live there. It was hard for the brothers as well. Right. How are we going to survive? How are we going to move on with this? They couldn't have local visitors and local people, because that's what I really admire, and I'm so happy that, in particular in Kenya Mission, many local people now are coming and helping the brothers, and especially the orphanage center. So nobody could come. Yeah. But staying connected with them, like Father Jason said, praying, and connecting via our phones or videos, and technology is a blessing now. So that helped a lot. Yeah.
I think
that's what's important. Don't leave them, alone all the time, because if people come for help and you don't have resources, that will be horrible. And we started, and that's right away.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, so I'd like us to continue talking about this, but it's time for our next break. So we'll continue in a moment, but we'll be right back to discuss global mission during a pandemic. Stay tuned.
cemetery ministry is a core ministry of our Catholic faith tied to the corporal works of mercy. It's comforting to know that our Catholic cemeteries are caring for the remains of our loved ones awaiting the resurrection. There are 44 Archdiocese of Chicago Catholic cemeteries willing to help you in your time of loss. Call 708-449-6100 or visit CatholicCemeteriesChicago.org. Catholic Cemeteries, serving the Catholic community since 1837.
Catholic Charities Schreiber Center for Human Services is now open in Round Lake. Due to the pandemic, we are limited in the number of in-person programs that we currently can provide. However, a food pantry is open twice a week and a Wednesday night supper is held with to-go meals every week. A wide range of senior services are now offered as well. If we can assist you or someone you know, please call us at 847-546-5733. That's 847-546-5733. Before, during, and after COVID-19, Catholic Charities is here for you.
You're listening to Catholic Chicago on WNDZ 750 AM. Every Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m., the Archdiocese of Chicago presents programming about the people, events, and issues that touch our lives. Thanks for letting us be part of your morning. Now again, Catholic Chicago.
Welcome back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, coordinator for the Mission Office, and you're listening to WNDZ 750 AM. I have with me Father Jason Torba and Marta Robak of St. Ferdinand Parish in Chicago. And we've been talking about how this pandemic that we're still living with has impacted the mission work of the Missionaries of the Poor Brothers, who our local communities have been supporting for years. And we've been talking about the mission work of the brothers in particular in Haiti and Jamaica, in Kenya and Uganda, which are just a few of the places where those brothers are working. But just to focus our conversation, and I think our local communities have been important to those particular missions. And just before the break, Marta was telling us about, and Father Jason were telling us about what they were hearing from the brothers after March last year when everything started to shut down. And one of the biggest worries was that the brothers, the Missionaries of the Poor, could not host volunteers, could not welcome people to join, were really working with what they had. And on top of it, schools were shut down and other kinds of institutions were really affected by this pandemic and the way that people were trying to stay safe and limit travel and things like that. So I mean, it made me think of, and we ran out of time because we needed the break, but I wanted to say when we came back that Father Jason said something at the top of the show about people being so important, people organizing, people taking responsibility and making things happen at the parish and in global mission. And I think that's probably one of the scariest things is that, with this pandemic, with everything kind of shut down, people couldn't go and help people, hands-on in the way that we had been able to. And that really limited, the involvement, the engagement, the sharing, face-to-face, so to speak. Continuing our conversation then, Marta, once you heard that the brothers were beginning to adapt their work with children, and I think you mentioned on the phone conversation we had about a feeding program, the brothers realized that kids weren't coming to the school, they still needed to eat, so they came up with a different way to reach these families that needed it. So you heard the brothers were adapting their work. how did your core team then also adjust your support work, knowing that you couldn't go, you couldn't send the pallet that you had done before of materials?
So the program, like I mentioned, the containers that we shipped to Jamaica and to Haiti, and I'm sure Father Jason will probably say more about that project. But going back to Kenya, when we have feeding program and the kids come to school every day, and not seeing them and their families, we knew that they are struggling. Those are the students who come to us. They live in the slums. Very often, if they don't come to school, they eat once a day, twice a day maybe, if the parents can afford that. And right away, we talk with the brothers, and so we have to do something. So we came up with food packaging. We couldn't have them, there to come every day. It was just too dangerous, but we decided to prepare food packages, the brothers, and our teachers who work at Divine Mercy Academy. And there was enough food for the kids, and their families, because we said, okay, we're not going to only help kids, we have to help their families as well. So they put together packages, with oil, with posho, with flour, with rice, with some basic things that parents could cook for them. And then they would come in like chunks, like let's say 2 classes at the time, and then the food was distributed at the gate, with keeping all the social distancing and masks, and it worked. They were so grateful. They were so grateful for that. So that was one of the ways of reaching out to our families and students who live in the slums of Choka.
Wow. And so then your team here said, let's tell people they need to know what's happening, right? Because you were able to communicate and understand what was happening.
Many people came forward. Really, I personally was just overwhelmed with generosity of people when it comes to our school and Divine Mercy Academy. How many people, they say, okay, we want to help, we want to support financially. At this point, we just could do that. We could send funds there, and the brothers could, buy the necessary food items.
But people knew this was this creative solution that the brothers and the MOP team discussed and thought about. We're going to support this, and really they understood what a difference it would make. And I also know, I'll just share information I know as if I'm the expert here, but that you all, as Father Jason actually did mention earlier in the show, came up with this idea of a virtual container, virtual pallet, that funds would be raised and that they would go toward purchasing things locally in the mission sites. And like so many things these days, you also created a video. Which would help remind people of the needs and the communities there, and with images and a little bit of information. And in fact, you shared one of those videos with us. So I'd like us to take a listen to a short video that was produced by the MOP team to communicate the change of plan for Advent and Christmas in 2020. And so we're going to just listen to a bit of the MOP support team virtual container from 2020.
Every fall, the volunteers supporting the works of the Missionaries of the Poor collect and ship containers of food, hygiene products, and medicine to missions in Jamaica and Haiti. These containers have helped to feed and care for God's precious children and gave encouragement to the missionary brothers who have dedicated their lives to serving the poor. This project has only been possible because of the generous and loving hearts of people like you. Due to the pandemic, the volunteers are unable to send a container with much needed food and first aid items. However, they realize that help is more needed now than ever. The COVID-19 pandemic has reached the missionaries and their residents. Every day, an increasing number of people who have lost their jobs come to the missions and ask for food packages. The poor lack not only food, but also basic hygiene products and medication. Moved by the tremendous challenges facing the people living in poverty, the volunteers decided to collect funds which will allow the missionaries to purchase what is most needed locally. Today, the volunteers are asking us to join in their efforts and contribute generously to this cause. As we prepare for the coming of the Savior this Advent season, let's support those who are in greatest need and make it one of our gifts for the newborn King. Thank you, and may God bless you for your generosity.
Okay, so we got a chance. This is just one example, this video of ways that this MOP team, this local team of coordinators and leaders said, we got to do something, and it's going to be different than what we have done, but it will definitely make a difference. So this was from Advent and Christmas, as I mentioned, and this was specifically for the missions in Haiti and Jamaica. So now, Father Jason, you hinted at it earlier in the show, but how did your parish community and the communities, we mentioned Holy Family, St. Constance, and others, respond to these new needs and the new ways that the MOP team approached them for this kind of support?
They responded very well and with very generous heart, and that was wonderful. The creativeness of the MOP friends was very good to reach the people, because you mentioned we have the people back in the church, but not all the people. That's only percentage of the people, and that you have, and you can publish, you can send, and you can share this short movie about it, and about accomplishments and about needs, and and people respond, and we were very surprised. The people again surprised us in a very positive way, and we are able to hope, not only in Jamaica but other places, even in the
Haiti.
Haiti especially, because they need our help as well. Because before when we sent the container to Jamaica share with them, and that was the way. But this year we help them another way, but very, I can say, successful but faithful way as well. Because of the people.
Right. Yeah, I think that I have spoken with others who were doing mission work around the country, and they have said how sometimes they're a little surprised even how generous people have been in the midst of this pandemic. Not in a bad way, but hoping, and even here, we in the mission office, we held some of our mission appeals at the diocesan level last year, thinking, if people can give, they will, and we'll see what happens. We're not going to expect much, because this is hard. This is a difficult economic time. So many people have lost jobs, or or hours are cut, or whatever the case. But people have still given, and it really speaks to what you said earlier, Father Jason, that people see this time. They see their own struggles, but they see the bigger picture too. This is a global pandemic. People around the world, and some places where the people are already very vulnerable are terribly affected as well. You mentioned earlier about, at least in Africa, I guess I might be able to say the same in the Caribbean, but where a lot of people who are on that, below or on that poverty line, they just make enough in a day to survive that day, in terms of any work that they might do. Just little things, in the market, or selling things on the street, or whatever the case, and all of that had to stop. And so the need is much higher in those places than would be here. And so you were able, through these videos, I think, and the appeals and this ongoing relationship, I think I'm just going to come back to that one more time and say that people got to know who they were helping. And they not only did they trust that this is a real and true need that they could help with, but then that they felt like, even in the midst of their own issues, that they wanted to give. I'm getting the signal for our last break, so if you have a response, hold it. We're going to come back in just a moment. So we'll be right back. to continue our discussion. Please stay tuned.
Caring adults make all the difference in the lives of adolescents. Catholic Charities understands this, and our mentorship program provides a free opportunity for youth living in Lake County to spend time, virtually, with volunteers who genuinely care about them. This program is ideal for youths age 9 to 12 who may need support navigating the challenges of childhood and early adolescence. Our amazing volunteers serve as friends and role models who help youth recognize their strengths and empower them to reach their full potential. Catholic Charities conducts a thorough background check on every volunteer, and our program coordinator closely monitors and supports each relationship. Mentoring is a fun after-school program that is totally different from remote learning. Virtual group sessions help youth enjoy fun activities with their peers, too. We're connecting youth with great role models. Join us today. To learn more, call 312-937-3375. That's 312-937-3375.
Hello, I'm Cardinal Blaise Supich. I got my COVID-19 vaccination, and you should too. It took just a few seconds and was painless. The Food and Drug Administration determined the new vaccines are safe and effective, and the Holy See, as well as the United States Conference of Catholic Bishops, has concluded getting the COVID-19 vaccine is an act of love of our neighbor and part of our moral responsibility for the common good. We have lived with the pandemic for many months, and I know we're all getting tired of it. Vaccination is one of the most important ways you can protect your health and the lives of those you love and help bring the pandemic under control. When it is your turn, I urge you to be vaccinated. And remember to do your part by wearing a mask, washing your hands, and watching your distance. Thank you, and God bless you all.
Mothers are often the unsung heroes in a family. Right now, many mothers are also the disproportionate victims of the COVID-19 pandemic. They've experienced higher rates of infection and more job losses. They've had to navigate their children learning remotely while caring for older relatives and struggling to put food on the table. What better way to honor the mothers in our lives, those living and deceased, than with a contribution in your mother's name to Catholic Charities' 2021 Mother's Day Appeal? Our mothers were the first to teach us about compassion and community. They were the first to show us what love and caring for someone else is all about. Help us help local moms and children who are struggling this year. Please give generously at CatholicCharities.net.
And we're back to Mission Matters Live. I am Megan Mio, and I have with me Marta Robak, lay leader of Missionaries of the Poor Volunteers, and Father Jason Torba, pastor of St. Ferdinand Parish in Chicago. And they've been working with volunteers and donors to support the work of the Missionaries of the Poor Brothers for many years, and have continued this work during this past year in current time of the pandemic. And just before the break, we were talking about some of the new and creative ways that the MOP team, the local leaders here in the Archdiocese of Chicago, who have been coordinating this support for the Missionaries of the Poor, and some different methods and different needs that came up because of this pandemic. And like true missionaries, they figured it out. They figured out a way to keep this work going. And I was talking at the end, what was I saying at the very end before the break? That relationship is key, that this has been an ongoing relationship with Missionaries of the Poor, trusting them as mission leaders, and then also all those communities in the Caribbean and in Africa.
And if I could just add, Megan, the key and I guess one of the reasons why people respond so well is just we give updates constantly. We communicate with our donors, we communicate with our parishioners. That's why, it's so great to hear when we go for Mass, or, we see some people say, how are our children doing? How are the brothers? Are they okay? Do they need anything? What is happening at the mission? This is just like the best reward, from me, that the whole community of St. Ferdinand feels like this is our project, and we are so proud of it, and we want to stay connected, and we want to continue doing that. But just giving them those updates, and encouraging them, it's the success. And you said we had to be creative, and I'm so proud of children from St. Ferdinand Polish School. The Advent Project, they were just amazing. The same, kids from religious program from St. Constance as well. Kids from Holy Family Religious Ed program, they continue their Christmas outreach and making those Christmas packages with crayons, with glues, with socks, with hats. And we Holy Family, we meet virtually, so we had 2 big bins, we left them in front of the church, and parents had, a few days, and kids, and, they dropped them there, wrote beautiful letters. So we had to change the way how we think and how we used to do, but it's very successful. It was very, very successful, engaging others and inviting others to still continue. And people wanted to do it. Kids wanted to do it. So blessing.
Yeah, a true blessing. Well, the other thing is that we heard a little snippet of this video in our last segment from Advent Christmas, and there was another video produced for Lent, which we thought would be really helpful for us to listen to. It's focusing on the Divine Mercy Academy in Kenya and the community's needs there. So let's listen to an audio clip of the Missionary of the Poor priest, Father Paul, from Divine Mercy Academy in Kenya, followed by a description of some of the other work that's been done in that particular mission. So, please.
Dear Father Jason, Father Lucas, Brother James, sisters, dear parishioners and friends. On behalf of the children at Divine Mercy School, their families, and the brothers, we want to extend our sincere gratitude for your generosity and kindness. We have 120 children at the school, and we provide free consultation and medications for about 50 patients every week. All these are made possible because of your kindness and generosity. During this season of Lent, I will not be with you due to COVID-19, but I am with you in my prayers. Thank you so much for everything, and God bless you.
In the year 2008, thanks to the generosity of people of goodwill from Chicago, the Missionaries of the Poor opened a school in the slums of Ruichoka in Kenya. The original idea was to open a soup kitchen for the most needy children from the community, who in most cases did not receive regularly even one meal per day. Then, from the belief that only education can give the poor children a chance to overcome poverty one day, the idea of a school was born. In the year 2017, the new school building was constructed. In the following years, the missionaries completed the building of a new kitchen, new restrooms, and a multi-purpose hall. Today there are 120 students ages 4 to 7 attending Mercy Academy. Here in the beautifully equipped classroom, the students learn how to read, write, add, and subtract. Here in their home language, they learn about the culture and the history of their country. They also learn the English language. In their religion class, the children learn about God and the Catholic Church. Every day there's time for playing, singing, and resting. At the school, the children receive free school supplies, 2 pairs of uniforms, and a pair of shoes. The meals are prepared in a modern and well-equipped kitchen and eaten in a comfortable and spacious lunchroom. The warm meals that the children receive every day are breakfast and lunch. Before the dismissal, the students also receive a cookie and milk. Between classes, children play in a new colorful playground. Last year, the COVID-19 pandemic reached Africa. Starting in March of 2020, the school was shut down for 9 months to avoid the spread of the virus. The very difficult situation of the people living in this developing country became tragic. To help the most struggling members of the Choka community, the missionaries started giving food packages 2 times per week. Bringing a lot of joy to the students and their families, the school reopened in January of this year. The newest accomplishment of the missionaries is building John Paul II Clinic, a small medical clinic in the middle of the Choka community. Today there is a medical doctor and a nurse working at the clinic. The clinic serves the poorest members of the local community who are unable to access health care elsewhere. Every day about 50 patients receive medical care at the clinic free of charge. The missionaries hope that in the near future the clinic will offer dental care and vaccination. All of these wonderful works are possible because of God's grace and the help of people of goodwill from Chicago parishes, especially the parishioners at St. Ferdinand's Church. God bless you.
So, we've heard, this sort of summary of the most recent work there at the Kenya mission. So I asked Father Jason, as we're coming down to the end, just a few minutes left, when you hear about all this that's been accomplished in Kenya, in particular, since we just heard this video, what do you think about the impact of the work of the brothers, both for those families in Kenya and for your own parish community?
That we have to trust God.
Yeah.
Even if the difficulties or struggles are on the way of our life, that with God's help and with God's grace is possible to continue great work, even develop, because the new ideas came out, and we grow. We grow, especially in our faith and in our holiness, and fulfill the commandment: love God and love neighbor, and also put our faith in action. That's I think that's everything what we experienced last month. That help us to grow in holiness.
Yeah. I mean, just thinking about all that we've talked about so far on this show, I was thinking about growth and looking toward the future, and that our faith is absolutely key in that. That the challenges that we face, if we respond in faith, that then we don't even know what we're capable of with God's help. Martha, any final thoughts about all this?
I just wanted to say that we can't be afraid, and we have to trust, and we have to have this trust, and this will take us through most difficult challenges, and with me in particular, after the Advent project, and it was such a successful project, and I was like, we can do a Lenten project again, so we can do it. And Father Jason was like, I said, Father, we can, and he says, with his calm voice, like always, he says, no, we will do it. We have to do it. We have to give our families chance, to help the families in Kenya and the brothers. And it was amazing. It was another success and a blessing, and we are the church.
Absolutely.
We are the church.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Father Jason and Marta. It's a joy to hear the joy of the risen Christ in your hearts and sharing these wonderful stories. If our listeners want to learn more about Missionaries of the Poor, look them up, missionariesofthepoor.org, or contact the MOP Core Team through St. Ferdinand Parish. Wish you a blessed Easter season, and may the joy of the risen Christ fill your hearts too. Thank you for listening, and remember, always be on mission.